Top of the morning to you, everyone, from the Two Irish Brothers show. Of course, happy St. Patrick's Day from myself and from Ben.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
With that said, might as well do the usual intro, Ben. I am Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And this is the Two Irish Brothers show, but this in particular is the Two Irish Brothers live. Yes, that's right. I have recovered from my hangover. From those of you who saw the short that I posted for our channel last night, I got to ask you, Ben, what'd you think of it?
I liked it.
Could you tell that I had enough whiskey in me?
Oh, you had enough.
Oh, it didn't stop after that.
No, sure didn't.
No, I was like only halfway of what I had last night at that point when I uploaded that video. Because I think we got done partying at like, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I that was my St. Patrick's Day. How was yours?
Good, low key. Pretty low key today, but good St. Patrick's Day nonetheless. So,
well, all I know is
can't complain too much.
Nope. The corned beef was delicious today. So were the potatoes. But of course, got to make mention of this to anybody who happens to be watching right now. You know the drill. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like or dislike the video, and hit that bell icon so you know that we are live like we are right now, or when we have a new video up. So I don't think we should jump just right in, Ben. Let's wait and see who all comes in first, because it says we're at 0 views right now. But how about a word from our sponsor?
A word from sponsor. W?
Yeah, you know what? We still have this one up here. Let's play it.
What is up? It is Ben from the Two Irish Brothers, and I want to talk to you about our friends at W. What is W? W is an energy drink company that is no BS. This is an energy drink that has no fillers, no maltodextrin, no fake dyes. These are energy drinks made specifically to help you be better. Make W part of your morning routine, or even your workout routine, or better yet, make it part of your Notre Dame routine when you're watching the Notre Dame Fighting Irish march on to victory. Make W part of your routine today and use our unique code. That is TIB ROCKS. That is TIB ROCKS at checkout for 10% off your order. W, energy drinks made specifically to help you be better.
Well, you know what? That's pretty good actually, because we haven't played that for a while. We haven't really been pushing W like we should.
Yeah. That's totally true. That is very much true.
Well, it actually reminds me, I'm all out, so I have to get some more.
Yeah, I could use a little bit more myself.
What's been your favorite flavor so far, if you don't mind me asking?
The dragon fruit.
That was pretty good.
Absolutely love that one.
Myself, it was came down to the fruit punch and what was that other one? I think it was like wasn't there like a marshmallow one or something?
Yeah, that one was pretty good too.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, with that said, it shows a couple people that are watching right now, and remember, guys, I better do this as well. If you want to jump in and have a couple minutes with us to ask a question or comment, be on the show with us, here is the link to get into the StreamYard link so you can join us. It'll take you right to the back room or the backstage, whatever they call this, and we'll bring you on.
Yep, we sure will.
But let's get right into things, Ben.
Yep.
The short that I made last night, and to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure how long that was or like the Justin Fields trade. I wasn't sure how long that was when I first made that short. I just saw the headline, but I'm not sure if it happened like 2 hours before that or whatever. But let's just go with it. That was me being completely raw in that short, and of course, being live, I want to keep it a little clean as I can anyway. What a stupid trade. What an absolute stupid trade. So all the Caleb Williams hypers, they got their wish. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that because we still got a month between now and the NFL draft. Maybe Ryan Poles, the Chicago Bears GM, maybe he has something else in mind. I don't know. We've seen that happen many times, haven't we?
Yes, we very much have.
You know, because there's no guarantee that he stays at number one and takes Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no, I mean it's very intriguing to see what the Bears are going to do with this whole situation. I mean, the Steelers made out like bandits. I mean, they have pulled off, and I can't stand the Steelers. Like, let me just start there, okay? I cannot stand Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is one of my most hated teams in the NFL. And I'll leave it at that for now. But to get Russell Wilson on a 1-year deal, and then to basically get Justin Fields on a 1-year deal,
we got fleeced.
Which, I mean, it's crazy. You know, it looks like that Russell Wilson's the vet that's going to train Justin Fields and show him how to be a true dual threat quarterback. Because, I mean, Russell Wilson almost won 2 Super Bowls. I mean, he was literally 1 play away from being a 2 Super Bowl winner. You know, he knows what it takes. And it's very interesting. But flipping back to the Bears, yeah, it's a situation where what are you going to do? Are they going to keep the number 1 pick? Are they going to take Caleb Williams? Do they make a play for some other quarterback in the league by trading the first-round pick and as the number 1 pick? Like, it's very interesting to see what happens. I think the Bears are silly for doing what they've done.
That's me, but multiply it by like
I think that you didn't give Justin Fields enough to show what he truly was. I think we have a sample size of Justin Fields, and I think, he may hold on the ball too long, and he may try, but maybe that's because he's playing hero ball because he has nothing really to work with.
Well, listen, here's the thing.
And I mean, Caleb Williams is in the same boat, though. That's the thing, okay?
Yes.
We saw that this past season. We saw Caleb Williams struggle at times and try to be the hero because his defense was just absolutely putrid. And this is a very neutral viewpoint. This is not me being a Notre Dame fan at this point in time. He did struggle, and when he struggled, it was because the defense gave him nothing to work with. And what I mean by that is his own defense gave him nothing to work with. He had to play a lot of, we're behind. We have to make up these points. I have to do what I can do to score points now. That's not how you win ball games. That's not. You don't play from behind constantly, and he did. So I feel like if they do draft if they do draft Caleb Williams, you're getting the same thing. Now, is his ceiling higher than Justin Fields? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But there is no metric. There is no metric out there that says this guy is going to be a success, this guy is going to be a bust. There just isn't. I mean, we've seen Mahomes, who everybody thought was not going to do anything, and the Chiefs, did dart throw in the dark, and sure enough, he's without a doubt one of the best players in the league that we've seen since Tom Brady.
So I know it's 2, but do they have 3 Super Bowl wins now, or is it just 2 with Mahomes?
Mahomes has 3.
That's what I thought.
Because they're
back to back.
They beat the Bengals. They beat the
49ers.
Eagles. Yeah, and then they beat the Niners. So yeah, they have 3.
Okay, 3. Yeah, so he goes from people saying he's going to do nothing to boom, 3 Super Bowl championships.
Right. In 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's very intriguing. It's very, very intriguing, and I'm actually trying to move DeAndre Swift, who I have on my Dynasty League, and I'm trying to move him now. to kind of start to continue my rebuild that I'm currently having. I'm kind of 1 or 2 pieces away from being a legitimate.
Who also is now a Chicago Bear.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to move him now, because it's going to go 1 of 2 ways with Swift. He's either going to be really, really good or he's going to be really, really bad, in my opinion.
No, that's true.
Because of the line that he has currently going with the Bears. So we'll see.
Well, the thing is, yeah, we'll see what. Well, we've got a couple offensive linemen that I think could be do pretty well. I mean, we got Darnell Wright, who had an excellent rookie season, and I'm not trying to be all over the place with the offensive line, because you're right, it needs help. It needs help without a doubt. But just going back to what I was saying before, I'm not saying that Justin Fields is one of the all-time greats, like a Tom Brady or a Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway, whoever, take your pick. But the Bears organization did him wrong. His first 3 years, he was under a different coaching staff. Boom, they were gone after his first year there. The last 2 years, he's been playing under one of the shittiest offensive coordinators I've ever seen in my life, in Luke Getsy. I mean, it's like that guy. I swear to God, it's like the stuff he was doing, the stupid things were on purpose, and he knew they were stupid, but he did it anyway. So now I'm not saying that Justin has no accountability on himself. I mean, yeah, he had accuracy problems. Yeah, he made some questionable throws, but it all falls back on coaching too.
Yeah,
he was never given a fair chance, and he still played pretty well for the situation that he was in, I thought. But yeah, they did him wrong, because you finally have an offseason where you get a competent offensive coordinator and Shane Waldron in here from Seattle, who, look what he did with Geno Smith.
Right.
Not saying he made him a superstar, but he turned his career around from where it was going. And on top of that, you have all these awesome additions. You add in DeAndre Swift. You go out there and you trade for Keenan Allen. And I'm talking about the whole team here, but we get a safety in Kevin Baynard, however you say his last name, former Pro Bowler.
Right.
Geez, a couple different pieces.
Yeah, it's interesting what the Bears are doing. It's interesting, and the other thing that I think is, or I think of, I guess I should say, is maybe the reason they moved Justin Fields is just because it wasn't that head coach's guy. He wasn't. Like, that head coach didn't draft with the GM Justin Fields.
No, Justin Fields.
And I know that's a big thing these days. That's a really big thing that a lot of coaches want their guy. So I don't know. It's interesting, and we're gonna have to see, because the biggest telltale sign, in my opinion, is if Justin Fields actually succeeds with the Steelers, then in my opinion, it's always been the Bears issue. And it's been a Bears issue, because
it's been
who is the last good quarterback for the Bears?
If you want to go statistically, Jay Cutler.
I mean, and even then, you almost have to go even further back to McMahon.
Yeah.
So the Bears, just the last however many decades it's been, 2 decades, 3 decades?
Longer than that.
Haven't been able to develop a quarterback. I mean, we've seen Trubisky and Grossman, and the list goes on and on and on.
All the other flops are barely worth mentioning. I mean, okay, I'll say this: Eric Kramer had one good season.
Glennon. I mean, you just name it. Orton was really the only one that did much of anything other than Cutler. And then what did they do? They benched him for who? Grossman. I mean, so
wait, wait, they benched Orton for Grossman?
If memory serves me correct.
Grossman was their guy first, then they brought in Orton after that.
Then Grossman got hurt, and Orton was doing really well.
Yeah, and then they even had.
And I would have gone with the hot hand in that situation. I would have kept on playing with Orton, and then they benched Orton once Grossman got healthy. And in my opinion, that was a mistake, because I think
Orton did have one shot.
Yeah,
he did have Orton. Orton had 1 year as a starter, and he played pretty well. He wasn't anything outstanding, but he was a game manager type quarterback,
right?
General.
Right.
But then the season after that,
here's my thing though. We've seen game managers win the Super Bowl. People are like, "Oh, you have to have a franchise quarterback. You have to have an elite." In my opinion, you don't. You don't. Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. Like, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Like, you don't have to have these incredible guys that are like Mahomes that throw for 4,000 yards and run for 20 touchdowns and all that. You don't have to have that.
Nick Foles. Nick Foles
was Foles won. I was about to say Foles won and one was the Philly. I mean, in the Philly special and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's who knows? There's no metric. There really isn't.
I mean, know.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's just the thing is that this isn't you mentioned all the quarterbacks we've had the past 30 years. This is one of the other reasons why I hate the Green Bay Packers so much. Not just because they're a rival and they've been kicking our asses a lot the past 10 years, but hell, goes farther back than that. But they know how to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they've had. Yeah. They've had two in the past 30 years.
They do. You're not wrong. You know,
it's like what's with the Bears? What's with the Bears front office? Do they think it's the days of George Halas still coaching?
Yeah.
Get with the freaking times. You can't. We can't keep doing this. Myself as a Bears fan, this franchise can't keep doing this. You draft a quarterback, you stick with him for 3 or 4 years, and then you dump him after that. You have to take time and develop your quarterbacks. And these past 3 years with Justin Fields, like I said, they did him wrong. I mean, yeah, they got him some pieces in DJ Moore, which was a great start. But overall, the offensive line was crap. He was running for his life all the time, which did help his rushing yardage. I'll say that. But that should be a last resort for a quarterback to run the ball.
Yeah.
But there was some incompetent receiving play at times, so they never really gave him that much of a chance to succeed. Because,
well, and let's say this. Let's do hypothetical. Okay, hypothetically, let's say that all these draft analysts are correct. Let's say that, and they draft Caleb Williams number 1. They do that. Yeah. Okay,
all right,
and they bring Caleb Williams in, and you have Keenan Allen, you have DeAndre Swift, you have a line that looks like it's on the up and up. Okay. And then they don't develop Caleb Williams and he busts. Then what?
Well, then you're still the laughing stock of the league.
I mean, and then you're just back to square one again, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Bears. It will. And
well, listen,
the NFC North has shifted. It has shifted from it used to be just the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah.
Okay. And on every so often it would be the Vikings. It was never the Lions. And now it is the Lions. Now it's the Lions, the Packers, and that's where we're at. The Bears are kind of trying to get there. The Vikings have taken a major step back, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So
losing
if the Vikings and the Bears actually do a good draft, then you could see the NFC North shift. And the NFC North is now all of a sudden the top tier division in football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the AFC West looks like it's going to try to do that because now you have the emergence of Harbaugh with the Chargers. The Raiders are trying to figure their stuff out, but the Broncos have Sean Payton. It looks like they're finally going to get their guy as opposed to trying to make it work with Russell Wilson, who never did pan out. So, I mean, because right now, in my opinion, the two divisions are the East. The NFC East and the AFC East are the premier divisions. Because we kind of see, I mean, in the NFC North, the AFC North is kind of like going back and forth. It's like the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers. And now the Browns have kind of popped up a little bit. So now it's kind of like all four of them kind of vying a little bit. But the AFC East, every team got good in the East. The Jets just had the unfortunate Aaron Rodgers tearing his ACL or whatever it was. If that hadn't happened, I would assume that the AFC East would have been easily the toughest division in football.
I got to ask you one quick question since you're mentioning that. Now, I'm sure people are probably wondering, well, Ben, why aren't you saying the AFC West? Because the Chiefs have won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls. But I want to assume that you're talking about each division as a whole, correct?
Yeah, as a whole, yes.
Okay, I'm saying because the AFC West, other than the Chiefs, it's not the strongest conference out there.
No. The Chargers look like they're going to try to make some noise. The Broncos look like they're going to make some noise. So, if you have 3 of your 4, then you're good. But I mean, the only weak team in the AFC East right now is the Patriots. The Jets are on the up and up. The Bills are still the Bills, and the Dolphins are on the up and up. So, and the Patriots look like they're going to make some moves. I mean, the Patriots traded Mac Jones. Looks like they're going to make a move. Some big name quarterbacks going to the Patriots, whether it's Bo Nix or Drake May or who knows. I mean, I don't know. So
well, I'll say this, just going back to it real quick, and I want to make one thing perfectly clear. If that does indeed happen and the Bears take Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall pick, yeah, I'm not a fan of it right now. But I will say this. If he comes in here and he tears it up, then I will, me, Ben, I've never been afraid to admit when I was wrong.
Right. And here's the thing too.
And I will do that. I will support if he does it. I mean, even before he plays it down, I'll support him because he's on my team now. And if he tears it up, I will cheer for him. But right now, I'm not too excited about it, just, based on what I've seen. And again, this is from a non-college football perspective as far as rivalries go. I'm not dogging him because he went to USC and I'm a Notre Dame guy. From just looking at what I've seen, I'm not excited about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Caleb Williams. I want to see him succeed. I don't like seeing these big name guys just bust. The NFL is fun when these big, like Burrow coming out and just tearing up the league and going to the Super Bowl immediately was awesome. Okay. It was awesome. It was awesome to see him take this lowly team that's the Bengals that have always kind of been there and on the cusp, that he just went and tore it up with Jamar Chase. That was awesome. So I want to see Caleb Williams succeed. And if he goes to the Bears, I want to see the Bears finally figure it out. I have nothing against the Bears, nothing, but Caleb Williams has a mouth. He runs it and he's a diva at times.
Yeah. He's a big time diva.
I mean, anybody will say that. That has nothing to do with playing. I mean, Caleb Williams, when he is on, he is on. I mean, there's a reason that he won the Heisman. I'm sorry. There's a reason that he did that. You don't just win the Heisman.
No, okay? I'm not saying he doesn't, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have any skills or that he can't.
But he is raw. That's the thing. He needs to be coached. He needs to excel to another level. That's where he's at. He has all this potential to be a great quarterback and a great player, but you got to make that jump. And the NFL is a tough jump. Well, because everybody that's here is supposed to be here. That's the thing. We see guys every season, every year where the draft comes around. We see guys that everybody thinks is going to be that next big name guy. Exactly. And they just cannot keep pace with the NFL because when they were in college, they were the top dog. And that's the thing. Can you make the jump? Can you make and be a good student of the game? Because Mahomes is a good student of the game. And if you don't think that, go and watch QB1 on Netflix. Go and watch what he does day in, day out. And that's not just him in football. Go watch some of these big name guys, Curry, even LeBron. Watch what they do day in and day out. They make so many sacrifices. They study all this tape, all these plays, all these workouts. You can't just come in and think that you're just going to be good on natural talent. That's not how it's going to work. So, right. Can Caleb Williams make that jump? That's the thing. Can he be a good student?
Yes.
We will see.
He has to do it ability-wise, but he also has to mature too. And I've said this in recent videos. I think I even said this in the last video that we did last week. He has to stop this diva-like behavior of his, this character that he has going on. The the painting of the nails, but not just the painting of the nails, it's what he paints on them. Like F Utah.
Let me could you imagine, let's another hypothetical.
Sure.
Right? Since we're still on Caleb Williams, and then we'll move on to the Irish.
Yeah.
If he did that in the NFL, okay, let's say that he does. Let's say that he gets drafted by the Bears, and let's say week 1, it's the Lions. They play the Lions in week 1, and he paints F Detroit or whatever on his nails. Do you know what kind of headhunting is going to go on in that game? I mean, Seriously, think about that for a second. Like, we have seen this happen. We saw it happen years ago with the huge rivalry that is the Steelers and the Ravens. When Rashard Mendenhall, as with the Steelers, ran his mouth and said, "Oh, we're going to beat you guys, and you guys don't have a chance," and blah blah blah. Okay, dude, the Ravens came out and smoked the Steelers, smoked them. You could tell that they were pissed off. Like, you can't do that kind of stuff in the NFL. You might be able to get away with that in college when you're better than everybody else and you're in a Heisman year. But when you got guys like linemen that can chase you down, I mean, we literally had a lineman in the draft this year from Penn State run a 4.440. A lineman, a defensive tackle, ran a 4.440 from Penn State.
That's
on his name. That is insanely fast for a big man. Okay, like, welcome to the NFL. Welcome to it, because that's how it's going to roll. Seriously. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. But let's move on to the Irish. Let's focus. It's St. Patrick's Day. Let's actually focus.
Can I say one last thing, and then we'll move on. And I'll keep it brief. That's all there is to say. What does Ryan Poles do? Because the Bears have the number 1 and the number 9 picks. We have a total of 4. Or let's do it Ric Flair style, the 4 horsemen. We have 4 total draft picks. Number 1, number 9, 1 third-round pick, and 1 fourth. Nothing past the 4th. Nothing in the 2nd. So you'd like to think which it's not a matter of him trading down one of those number 1 picks, but which one's it going to be?
Yeah.
So that's just my final thought for that. And again, guys, before we get on to the next topic here, again, those of you watching, I'm pasting it right here in the live chat. If you want to come in here and talk with us for a couple minutes, got a question, got a thought, there is the link to get into the chat so you can come and talk with us. And it will be a 5-minute time limit per call, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So with that, yeah, moving on, Ben.
Yeah, let's talk about the Irish. I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day. Let's do it.
It is a Notre Dame themed channel.
It's a Notre Dame themed channel. We got the Irish. We're Irish guys. So the Irish. I mean, this is a very interesting year. We've talked about it a little bit in videos, and we've hit on it in some live streams too. Everything's morphing. Everything's changing. The NIL's all the rage right now. There's a lot of teams that are starting to become very competitive. Colorado looks like they're on the up and up. Ole Miss is making some noise in the SEC. Alabama's still Alabama and Georgia's still Georgia. But the biggest thing, along with the NIL, comes the expanded playoffs, which is 12 teams. And people have whined a little bit and griped about Notre Dame's schedule and the lackluster teams that we see on it, because Florida State and A&M are really the only big 2, and Southern Cal. But that's really it. That's it for the Notre Dame schedule. There are some teams that could play spoiler, like Louisville. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, people think that this is a pretty easy Notre Dame schedule. Now, I look at it from a different point of view. I look at it like, okay, the chips are on our side and in our favor. We have a chance to totally make a nice deep run. Fine-tune everything. You don't have to be completely at your best for the vast majority of your games. So improve every week. And then when it comes time to actually play a good opponent, you're ready and you make the playoffs and make a run. Like Michigan. Michigan's the prime example. Okay, yeah, they have the cheating scandal, and yeah, we have Harbaugh and him moving and all that, but Michigan showed you how to do it properly. Okay, you have easy opponents, you fine-tune your game every week, then you come up against someone like Penn State or Ohio State, you do what you got to do, you win that game, and you move on. And then when it's time to actually make the playoffs, then you turn it into a whole nother level against Alabama. And then you turn it into a whole nother level against Washington. Notre Dame can do that. And we're in Marcus Freeman's 3rd year. And we've seen historically, that the 3rd year is the year to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
So can the Irish do it? Can the Irish actually make the playoffs and make a deep national title run?
I sure hope so. I mean, they still have some pieces in place. We have Riley Leonard coming in here, and there's so many people that are down on this guy. Which maybe that's you know what that's actually maybe that's too dramatic of a way to describe it. But you do have I'll say plenty. You have plenty of people that have doubts in this guy. Why? I mean, he got good coaching at Duke, and he's coming in here to Notre Dame, and with Mike Denbrock back as our offensive coordinator, I'm very confident that he can do wonders with Riley Leonard. Oh, yeah. Well, we can address a few comments here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Brian Taylor, or Tyler, excuse me. Welcome to the show. And we'd love to have some of you guys come on here and talk with us, by the way. That's why we posted the link. But with the college football playoff, with the playoff expanding to 14 teams in 2026, which for the record, I got to say, it's pretty stupid for them to even be talking about 14 teams when you haven't taken a snap yet in the 12-team era. I know. But even with money, but you bring
does it force Notre Dame to join a conference? You want to say your thing first, or you want me?
I just wanted to finish the question.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying. I know it's money, but that's just it. Money's involved. What if it becomes a disaster and you lose a bunch of money? But we'll get there in a second. Do you think it will force Notre Dame to join a conference? I saw an excellent clip from the show Crane and Company, and Ben, actually, you sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the one Crane brother, I forget his first name, he explained how the 12 team system actually benefits Notre Dame because they don't have to play in a conference championship game. They get an extra week of film. They're the last, as he said, the last single pretty girl at the dance. And he's right. I mean, yeah, we don't get a first round bye because we'll already have had our first round bye the week of the conference championships.
Right.
So, and then when it comes to us, if we are ranked fifth, we get a chance to host a game. That's another benefit. So, yeah, no, in the 12 teams, the 12 team playoff system, no. With 14 teams, it depends how they want to do it. Because if that's actually what they're thinking about, what I've heard anyway, is wanting to have there be 4 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams, and then the rest of the conferences, and then 2 wild cards or something like that. Whatever ridiculous thing they're talking about, that could become close to us having our hands being forced.
Yeah. That's interesting. I go one step further. I think it is the only way Notre Dame joins a conference in football is if they start losing money. And what I mean by that is if they are not legitimately benefiting from the deals that they have made currently with their TV deal and with being independent and all that, then I can see them joining conference. But I don't think just because Team A or Team B is automatically getting auto bids is going to be the reason that the Irish jump into a conference. I don't think that.
I saw today that in a 14-team playoff, 2164. What's up, buddy? I'm glad you were able to make it.
Thanks for stopping by.
One of our longtime viewers, and we appreciate you very much, dude. But I read earlier that in a 14-team playoff, Notre Dame will be making $80 million a year. I mean, it's not shocking, but that's
a decent amount of money.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn good deal if I say so myself. But I don't know. I mean, all I know is in either format. Now, obviously, the 14-team one, depending on which way they go, because I don't know if that's set in stone yet.
I mean,
Obviously,
there are a bunch of people that have already taken exception to this, and this is like an ongoing debate in college football, not just the college football world, but in college football itself. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens moving forward with these other coaches that are in the SEC, the Big Ten, all that, and see what they say. The big thing, though, too, is like what's going to happen with the ACC, because there's rumors that the ACC is going to collapse.
well, Florida State, if they end up deciding to leave, that will be a big time, the first domino to fall.
That'll be
That'd be huge.
A big nail in the coffin that is the ACC. Yes.
Now, of course, we all know, I'm not trying to sound full of ourselves because this is our team, but everybody knows that if Notre Dame joined the ACC, that would single-handedly save the conference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Florida State would leave then if Notre Dame were to join.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
exactly what I'm saying.
That's a big hypothetical, and that's, I mean, everything's shifting with Notre Dame, and we have a new president, we have a new athletic director, we have, I mean, we have a very young head coach in Marcus Freeman, like everything in the Notre Dame realm, and I mean, we have a young head basketball coach, we have a new men's basketball coach, like everything is shifting in Notre Dame world too. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
By the way, props to the Notre Dame women's basketball team, ACC tournament champions.
Yes, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the NCAA tournament with them, because there are a few teams vying for the national title.
Yeah,
and Notre Dame could be one of them. Could be, South Carolina and LSU look pretty unstoppable, and so does Iowa with Caitlin Clark. But
yeah. Do we want to go? Listen,
don't count out the Irish, though. That's what I'm going to say. Don't count out the Irish, because they're hitting their stride. Right, those ladies are getting on fire right at the right time. And as who is that? Alicia Keys says those girls. This girl is what she says, but those girls are on fire. So,
before we get back to talking about the college football playoffs, since you brought up Iowa and Caitlin Clark, do you even want to touch that?
No, not touching.
Okay.
That.
Okay. All right.
And we wish nothing but the best. I mean, nothing but the best to them. And it's awesome what she has done. I'll just say that. It is awesome.
I've never denied that.
It is awesome that they're actually getting viewership. It's something that makes my heart happy as a girl dad. And nothing but respect to her.
I'm just trying to get the people in the comments asking questions like, "What's Sean talking about?" So I'm trying to start a little controversy.
Let's
but anybody, any of you who've watched our channel, you guys saw the videos. You know what I'm talking about. But I just, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going back to Notre Dame and Riley Leonard, everything is in play for him. It's his team. He's got pieces around him. It's not going to be a situation like Hartman. I feel like Hartman had the running back room. Hartman had a good running back room, but he didn't have a good wide receiver core. I mean, let's just say that. There were guys that missed the mark. There were guys that were hurt and injured. Riley Leonard doesn't have that. Riley Leonard's going to have a good wide receiver room and a good running back room and a good tight end room. And he's going to have a great line. So the pendulum has shifted over to Riley Leonard's favor, as opposed to kind of being teetering in the middle, per se, with Hartman, and kind of going the wrong way at times that we saw last season with Hartman. So it will be interesting to see what Riley Leonard can do, because now he has everything. This is not a Duke situation. This is not, you have to play hero ball at times. This is, everything should be running smoothly. And I feel like the injury that happened to him is a blessing in disguise. Let me just say that right now. I feel like that injury gives him the opportunity to legitimately focus on the playbook, to legitimately get all the cogs and the key pieces of that offensive scheme and playbook in place with this new OC that's come in, and then he can implement it in the practice field.
Yeah. Well, of course, Denbrock isn't exactly new, but I get
right. But I mean, it's going to be new to Riley Leonard, and it's going to be somewhat new to these guys, because it was a different OC before Denbrock, and there's going to be tweaks. I don't know how much of the playbook they changed. Obviously, we don't work for the team,
Right.
but anyway, let me hit this. Don't know if you guys have talked about it or not, but I was glad to see Jerome Bettis Jr. commit today. I know everyone doesn't think he
Is a
is
take for.
4, but I won't ever go against betting on pro genes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Here's the thing, okay? We have said this multiple times on this show, and Sean will agree with me. Stars don't mean jack squat.
Shit.
Okay?
Just say shit.
They don't mean much of anything. Okay. Ed Reed is the prime example. Ed Reed was a 2-star recruit coming into the University of Miami. Need I say more? I feel like Jerome Bettis Jr. has a lot of support. And what I mean by that is daddy. I mean, your dad was the ultimate pro, you know, and his dad played through everything. National championships, NFL championships, Super Bowl, let's say that, you know, highs, lows, multiple teams, you know, injuries, all that. He is just a vat of knowledge. And I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of the example. I mean, he was obviously a higher rated recruit coming in, but look at what he was able to do at Ohio State. And I feel like Jerome Bettis Jr. is going to do that. I feel like with everything that he has at his disposal, with everybody around him, the class that we have coming in with him, it's not like he is the guy. He's going to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
This is not like when Brady Quinn came to Notre Dame and it was like, well, you're kind of going to be the man. You're going to be one of the men. So I feel like everything is going right for Jerome Bettis Jr. And I feel like he has a huge potential to be a superstar in college football.
Well, and also if he's anything like his dad, and I don't mean just on the field, but his dad is one of the most beloved players of all time to come through Notre Dame. Everybody loved that guy. He always had an upbeat personality, one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. I've never had the chance to meet him, but from what I hear, he's great. But if he has that to go along with the skill, then yeah, the sky's the limit for Junior.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's got, in a weird kind of way, the world in the palm of his hand right now, as far as, you know, his situation goes. Exactly. He's going to have time to develop.
And he's going to have time. He's going to have a supporting cast. And that's the biggest thing. When you have a supporting cast around you, it makes it easier. And that's why we see the development of these guys at Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson on the big years, LSU. That's why you see these guys do well, because it's not a like USC situation where it's you are the man. Like Caleb Williams was the man. Okay, like he was the superstar. This is not the days of the past in Southern Cal where it is Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and all these other guys that are big namers. Jerome Bettis Jr. is going to come in with all these other big namers, and they're all going to make each other better. And that's awesome. Like, that is absolutely awesome. This is not going to be we're throwing you to the wolves and you got to figure it out and you got to make do because we need you now. This is going to be, okay, let's ease you in and let's, give you a chance to succeed.
Well, and also the best part too is, these guys are forming that camaraderie before they're even stepping on campus.
Right.
I mean, look at CJ Carr, for example. He was, talking with other recruits, and I'm not saying that they were necessarily getting together, but they were building friendships and camaraderie, and that's going to help when they do start. Well, they're there now, but when they start taking the field, that's obviously going to help.
Yes.
And also, for the record, I hope everyone's who's watching is able to hear me all right, because, I got a new desk and I'm not able to have my microphone hanging up the stand, so it's sitting down here in front of me. So hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear for everybody. But once again, speaking of everybody, I'll post it again as we always do a few different times. Any of you want to come in and talk with us? Here's the link for the StreamYard. you're more than welcome to. We'll bring you on 5-minute time limit. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep, we would.
And not saying anybody has to, just the option is there. That's it. So yeah, with Notre Dame spring practice underway, the blue and gold game is going to be what, like a month from now, something like that.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Let's see an exact date. Notre Dame blue gold game 2024. April 20th. So yeah, just about a month. About a month.
A month and 3 days. But 2164 has a great point in regards to Jerome Bettis Jr. And I get tired of people acting like he's a charity offer. The dude had scholarship offers from A&M, Arkansas, Missouri, and North Carolina State, and so on. That's a great point. So yeah, it's not like he's being looked at or just because of who his dad is. You got to have talent for the scouts to actually to look at you and actually give you an offer. And they're not going to waste a scholarship just because you're at this point a legacy.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I totally agree with that one. That's hitting the nail right on the head. Should be. Here we go.
What a great
Should be an exciting football season for the Golden Domers and their fans. Yeah, I mean, we hope so. The schedule, like I said earlier in this live stream, the schedule has become very favorable, if you will, for Notre Dame. This is not a murder row where week in, week out, we're playing a big name team and we got to figure out how we're going to beat them. This is, we have some leeway. Now, on the flip side, though, is we cannot lose one of those games.
No.
Like, this is not where we can actually go and, we lost to Louisville. Who cares? It's, it stinks and sucks and all that. But we're playing Southern Cal, who's number one in the country, in 2 weeks. So if we beat them, then we're right back on track. We're not going to have those opportunities this year. Like, we're just not. So that's it. We got to be on in those games. We can't sleepwalk through them, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. I like the name, by the way, Judy Pepper.
Judy Pepper.
Is that your real name, or is that just a screen
I like
name?
it.
That matters.
I like it. Judy Pepper. That'd be a good character name.
Like for a cartoon show or something?
Or a novel. Who knows?
But the
exactly, we're held to a tougher standard. We are. I mean, the hater. That's the thing. Everybody makes an excuse for the Irish in the wrong way. Not they lost that game. Who cares? Let's keep them ranked. No. It is they should never have lost that game. How dare they lose that game? CCC, they're frauds. They've always been frauds. This is why Notre Dame should join a conference. And no. We are held to a tougher, higher standard than most teams. I agree. I totally agree. There are certain teams in college football that that get the benefit of the doubt. Notre Dame is not one of them. They are not one of them, and people can say they are. They are not. They are totally not. Year in, year out, you can see the snubs, in awards and ranking and all that. So there is nothing we can do to make people happy. Nothing.
No, our fan base is full of people.
Not even just and I mean our fan base is one thing, but it's not even just our fan base; it's the outside fan bases too. I mean, we would basically have to play the number one team every week and go undefeated to make anybody happy. That's basically, and even then they'd be like, "Oh, well, that team was missing their number one quarterback, and that team was because that's what they did."
They were overrated, or they were just overrated. All that kind of crap. I'm hoping to get a PhD and be a doctor. Yes, but
love it. Let
me ask you a question.
Okay, Judy's kids, you have now officially entered the realm where you have to have this done. We are expecting it. We're writing it down in stone.
And if they get in the part of the medical field that's nutrition and stuff, and they put people on diets, it'll be Diet Dr. Pepper.
I love it.
No. Oh, come on. I said that because it's one of my favorite drinks, Diet Dr. Pepper. I definitely like the schedule this year. It's tough enough to get the job done, and it's not a cupcake schedule either. Yes, that's true. I mean, I said this earlier, Ben, in a video that we did a couple weeks ago. No, and full disclosure, I don't hide this. I don't like the fact that we have 2 MAC teams and 2 service academies. I don't. But again, it's not like last year where we play Tennessee State. I mean, honestly, a win over a service academy or a MAC school is more impressive than an FCS opponent. And I'm not, and I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, the only like stipulation would be like if we played North Dakota State. Like, I mean, I think North Dakota State could handle a service academy or a MAC team.
Yeah, I mean,
like that's like one of the few instances. But I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the other thing though too. You know, these schedules aren't made a year in advance. These schedules are made years in advance, and what looks to be a phenomenal matchup, 3 years beforehand could become a very like, okay, who cares? I mean, we have Florida and Alabama coming, in a few years. Like, Florida could be nothing. Alabama could take a step back. Like, we could take a step back. We could take a step forward. Like, who knows? Like, come on. Well, it's so stupid when people whine about schedules and stuff. Who gives a shit? Just play your games, win your games, be dominant, and make the playoffs.
Just
like
that's
all you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Do what you have control over,
and that is winning the game.
Exactly. And I will say this: when we schedule all these teams years in advance, if they happen to fall off, that's not our fault, is it?
Exactly.
And plus, the only time in recent history that we've had to schedule an opponent like a year in advance was just this year. We were scrambling around to fill that role that Miami left.
Well, and once again, the reason that we got a service academy was because all these other teams have already made their schedules.
Yeah,
and they're in the heart of their conference, play. And they can't just go, oh, yeah, we got week 5 open, or, oh, yeah, we got week 6 open. We're not playing Ohio State, or we're not playing Alabama, so, yeah, it's stupid when people start going that route. Like,
yeah. And
I mean, athletic directors do have say. Like, I will say that. Like, Swarbrick probably shouldn't have gone, that's a great idea to put on 2 MAC schools. Like, yeah, I agree with you there. But
yeah, there were several schedules towards the end of the BK era that should have been a lot harder than they were, but a lot of big name programs happened to be down at the time. Well, look at 2012. I mean, I know this was in the early stages of the Kelly era, but look at that 2012 schedule.
Oops, sorry.
And if you thought like if that was 20 years ago, oh my God. Like, cause there was Michigan on the schedule, Michigan State, Oklahoma, USC, Oh God, who else is on that schedule? Miami was on that schedule. That was a brutal schedule. And if you took that from 2012 and played that back in like 1992,
yeah,
damn,
yeah. Well, and like with Notre Dame 216 said, should have been a lot harder, and there were programs. I mean, Brian Kelly soured the relationship between us and Michigan. Like, the reason that we're not playing Michigan is because of Brian Kelly. So like I want to play Michigan. Like, one of the teams that I would love to see in and year out would be Michigan on our schedule. I hate Michigan. There's a reason we're a rival. Like, get them back on the schedule. And I hate when that happens. I hate that. Like, that just drives me nuts. Let's hit Judy. I'm in Northwest Georgia, so we hear the SEC mantra, and they aren't all top 10 as the year goes on. Yep, I agree. I totally agree.
No argument from me on that.
Not wrong. But
yeah, I mean, going back to that, I mean, yeah, I guess if we got it. We got one of our first trolls, Ben.
What do we got? Let me see.
Cole Custer.
Yeah, why would you want to get smoked by Michigan every year? Well, I don't exactly think that getting smoked by Michigan would happen every year. Like, let's just be honest. It's been a pretty back and forth.
Let me just say Cole Custer, which is I almost called him I almost called him Colonel Custer for a second.
I was thinking Colonel Mustard from Clue.
From Clue, yeah.
Clue. And it would make sense because I mean maize is basically mustard.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's
go
just
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's funny, Mr. Cole. If you say that now on a stream like this, but keep in mind if we took away your binoculars, you wouldn't have a chance of beating us. Ching.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Okay, can Michigan continue to be good? Like, it's what's going to happen now that Harbaugh's gone, and is this going to be a situation? This is a good thing to talk about. Is Michigan going to get smacked? Like, and what I mean by that is the NCAA hammer about to come down? Is it? Oh, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Well, why would you speak favorably of a rival? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But like, and we'll get to Ohio State in a second. But like, I mean, what's gonna happen with Michigan? Is this a like Pete Carroll? I can't think of the guy's name from SMU, head coach. That jumped ship. I mean, is the NCAA hammer gonna come down on Michigan? Like, I don't know. And here's the other thing. Okay, let's jump to the next thing. I'm an Ohio State fan. Is Day on the hot seat? Yes, Day's on the hot seat. And is it rough? It's rough because, like, let's be honest.
Oh, this guy's reaching.
Doesn't beat good Big Ten teams. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But let's hit Ohio State and Ryan Day real quick.
Well, the good teams are just getting to the Big Ten right now.
So
you didn't pick up on that, did you, Ben?
I did, and I'm going to hit that in a second. But
okay, all right. Real quick, Cole, why don't you come in here and talk to us? Guys like you.
Yeah, come on.
Come in and talk to us.
But no, like, also, it's rough. It's rough because here's the thing. Ryan Day is on the hot seat. And what has he done? What has he done with Ohio State? He has legitimately been in contention, title contention with Ohio State year in and year out. And they're calling for his head. Because he struggles against Michigan and he struggles in the playoffs. But he's getting there. And this is how it used to be back in the day. It used to be Ohio State, Michigan. Who's going to win? Who wins the Ohio State, Michigan game? Who's going to be the Big Ten champion? All that. And they're calling for his head. So what happens when they let's say that Ohio State stumbles this year. Let's say it happens, okay? Ohio State stumbles and they finally do it. They finally give Ryan Day the axe. They give him the axe, and then what? I mean, you take a step back, like, who's the guy? Because the pool of good coaches is dwindling, in my opinion. Like, do you go after Dabo Swinney? What does that happen?
Talk Saban out of retirement?
Like, that's not going to happen.
No.
But pointing out that, let's hit this. Okay, Notre Dame doesn't beat good Big Ten teams. Okay, well, there's a good one coming right now, which is Southern Cal. And we beat the snot out of them. Okay, we beat the snot out of them. Michigan has gotten us once. It has taken everything Ohio State had. Okay, let's not, yes, you won the game. I'll give you credit. You won the game. You beat us. I get that. Okay, but let's not pretend that it took everything you had to beat us. It wasn't like a blowout. This wasn't Georgia versus Florida State. Okay, this was, you had to be on your A game and you had to hope that we made a mistake, which we did, and that's how you won your game.
Let me ask you real quick, Ben. When you said that Michigan got us once, are you talking about the last time that we played them?
Yeah, when we played them in Ann Arbor.
Okay, that was 2019.
That one makes me so mad. Like, that one, we coming off of a bye week, and we just dropped the ball, like just dropped the freaking ball. There's a Brian Kelly.
Was it shocking that we lost? No, but just the way we did, it's like that's a sign of
total lack of preparation, total mismanagement, everything. Like, yeah, just ugh.
But no, Ohio State this past season hurt because we had the chance to get it done and just
we did, and that one does
just like a couple mistakes cost us that one.
Yeah, that one was a rough run. I think if he doesn't get it done in the next 3 years, he's gone. I mean, like, what's your thing though? Like, he doesn't beat Michigan or he doesn't win a title, because those are two big different things. You know, I mean, and I think there's a lot of shade that gets thrown at Ryan Day that is not necessary, and that's coming from a fan that doesn't root for that school. But yeah, Ryan Day is just James Franklin with a better team. I don't know. That one doesn't win a title. Okay, doesn't win a title.
Ohio State, as much as
I don't know, man.
Ohio State is more set up to win than Penn State.
I mean, Ohio State literally almost beat Georgia, and Georgia won the national title night. I mean, literally, they were the only team that actually handled Georgia. Like, Georgia steamrolled everybody that season pretty much, and Ohio State literally had to miss a field goal to lose against Georgia. Like,
yeah,
I don't think you're on the same level as James Franklin in that situation. I really do. Doesn't win a title. And that's fair. Like, if that's what you're going to base the metric off of, then yeah. I mean, you have X amount of years to win a title. You've had your chances, and they have. Ohio State's had the teams. They have. Like, and I'll agree with you there. They in my opinion, yeah, I didn't watch much of that game because that was one of those days where I was like super busy with work and all that, so I can't like legitimately give an opinion. But yeah, that's fair. Like, that I understand. I think the whole like, oh, well, he can't beat Michigan, or oh, all this. I mean, that's rough. Like, rivals are rough, and I don't. That's a whole thing.
Well, you see 2164. Yeah, we did smoke Wisconsin a few years ago, and I'm not trying to be a jerk towards you, Cole, but what the people that are saying what Cole is saying, they're going to say, oh, well, Wisconsin really wasn't that good. You beat a chump team. You didn't beat a good team, which we hear that all the time when we beat a ranked opponent. Somebody who doesn't like Notre Dame is always going to find something wrong with the opponent. And it was the same way when we beat in 2018 when we beat Northwestern, and Northwestern had a pretty good team that year. Because I think, let's see, what was it, Ben? That I know I was up in Chicago for that game, but what was it? We were in the top 10, and Northwestern was like what, 18, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm trying to think of that one. Yeah, that sounds right.
Because everybody was so sure that Northwestern was going to beat us and make a run at either the NY6 or maybe even the playoffs, possibly. But what was said after we beat Northwestern? Oh, yeah, Northwestern, yeah, they didn't deserve their ranking. They were just a bunch of chumps. They're not good. So it doesn't matter. We got to accept as Notre Dame fans that with people who don't like us or are just simply not fans of ours, we're not going to win.
Yeah.
They're not going to give us credit, which Cole here might be the exception. Yeah, it's, same thing with Michigan in 2018.
Yep. Yeah, it's
if they lose to us.
Aside from Ohio State, we have pretty much always beaten Big Ten teams. Michigan's gotten lucky like once, but
times they've kicked our ass. Let's just face it. Know that.
There have been multiple times where we go, and it's on a road too. It's not even just like they're playing at Notre Dame. This is like we went into East Lansing and pounded Michigan State. Like, we played Wisconsin on a neutral field. I mean, and people could say, oh, well, that's Notre Dame territory because it's Chicago. I mean, but Chicago's a hop, skip, and a jump from Wisconsin too. Like, let's not pretend that it's not. Like, that's an interesting take. We'll get to that in a second.
Which one?
On a serious note, I joined the show a little late, and you may have talked about this with the schedule this year. there are a few teams that could be better than expected.
We touched on
Yes, they're like Louisville is one of those teams. Louisville is, and A&M could be one of them teams. Like people are like, oh well, we should be, we should be able to handle A&M. Okay, we're going to College Station, man. Like
the 12th
there's
man.
a reason. Did you know? Okay, I wonder how many people actually know this. Do you know what the biggest college football stadium is in the state of Texas? Does anybody know? It ain't the Longhorn Stadium. It's A&M. You're going to tell me that we're going to go into A&M and we're going to handle business easily? No. Biggest football stadium in college football resides in College Station with the A&M Aggies. Okay.
And if it's a night game like it's predicted to be, that place is going to be loud.
And let's not talk about the storyline. Like the storyline of this is a former Notre Dame coach going up against Notre Dame. This is his chance to prove it. This is his chance to, all that NIL money that's going to be thrown at him. It's going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. And Louisville's not the only team. Florida State could be way better than expected. Florida State either takes a step back or they continue to trend upward. And if they continue to trend upward, that's scary because that's a national title championship contender right there.
Yeah.
With Florida State. Who else do we have on our schedule that's worrisome? I think we don't have Syracuse this year, do we?
No. Syracuse, I think, was an option for the slot that eventually went to Army.
Who else is on our schedule that worries me?
I'm bringing it up right now.
Purdue.
Well, they're a rival, so yeah, you gotta say yes.
I mean, you have to worry about Purdue. Purdue is interesting. Stanford, I don't think will be much. Just kind of vaguely looking at stuff. Virginia,
Georgia Tech, we shouldn't have a problem. Virginia.
Yeah, the only thing with Georgia Tech is that one's a neutral field site game, but it's in their territory. Like that's definitely like a road game for us and definitely a home game for Georgia Tech. So that's the only thing. And yeah, they've had a hard time filling their stadium, but that those people are going to come out for that game. Let's get to this one real quick.
It's a reason to go.
Caleb Williams showed how he's going to be a bust against Notre Dame. I think here's the thing. Rivalries, in my opinion, don't tell the whole story. And what I mean by that is that rivalries are different than a game, than a regular game. It's, a night game. It's your rival. They were angry. I feel like there was a lot of emotion in that game on both sides, and that can play a factor. And I hate giving Caleb Williams credit because I'm not a big fan of him. But I don't know. I don't think he's an automatic bust, but I do agree that in big games, when he's under legitimate pressure and stuff and he has to make the plays, he doesn't make them.
And I think I said enough about Caleb Williams at the start of the show, so you know how I feel about that. Like I said,
I would feel better about the A&M game if they had Jimbo and not Elko. Elko's a heck of a coach. Yes.
Yeah, that's
I feel like Jimbo kind of was washed up. Elko was kind of on the rise. And there's going to be a lot of emotion in that game. Like that's going to be a very scary first game. We should beat A&M, but the game scares me. Yes, I think it's going to be extremely close. Plus, it's going to be extremely hot, I imagine. Louisville and FSU, like you guys said, are toss-ups. Yes, like A&M is a rough game to start off with, man. Like the storyline, the fact that it's on the road, the fact that it's the first game of the season and it's Texas and it's hot. We're literally going to be – it's Houston. I mean – Houston is hot to begin with, let alone in the basically peak summer. I mean, so yeah. I see let's see this. I see 2 losses, but you make. And you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, let's go hypothetical. We have 2 losses. If we have 2 losses and make the playoffs, who gives a shit? Okay, can I just say that right now? Like, if we have 2 losses and we make the playoffs, who cares? Because guess what? Slate's clean. Let's go. It's
a new season when you get to the playoffs.
Tom Brady said it best. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, arguably. I'm not going to say he is or he isn't. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But he said it right. The playoffs is a new season. It is a clean slate. It is anybody's game. Anybody can win it. I agree. 2 losses in the playoffs. Who cares? People can whine all they want. People can say, "Oh, well, Notre Dame was." Who cares? Like, let's make a run. I don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, call me arrogant, call me conceited. I don't care. Like,
well, that's not conceited or arrogant. It's just if you make the playoffs, that's all that matters in
that's
the
all
end.
that matters. Like, just make the dang thing.
Like
make
if we were to, if
make,
we had, yeah, like if this upcoming season, if we had another Marshall happen like we did
yeah,
Freeman's
I don't
first
think.
season,
Yeah, we
but
would have to have like a huge win against Florida State. They would have to be like 5th in the nation, number 1, whatever. We'd have to have a big win over them to fix that loss.
But I'm just saying, like if we had a Marshall early in the season, but we went on a run from there and end up going through the playoffs, winning the national championship. Okay, in that case, that small team would have their little feel-good story, which, for the record, I still get sick of.
Right.
You know, this team having their feel-good story at our expense. But it's like, okay, you beat us, but guess what? We won the national championship. I think we'll sacrifice that, no problem, for a national championship.
Near situation.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I just all I know is I just can't wait for college football to get back. Of course, we'll get a taste of it with the video game coming out here in a few months.
Yes, can't wait.
I need to get a new system, dude. I've said this before. In full disclosure, I am still playing a PS2, but it is what it is. But that's more of a case of what's more important.
A&M and Florida, and those are both very losable games. Like it is not a Marshall collapse yet. Those are both games that easily Notre Dame could lose. And I agree with that. Those are my trap games. Those are my alert, like, be ready to rock. Yeah, this is more for you than me. Whoop.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Go ahead. I'll let you bring it up so I don't keep taking it off. Yeah, Eric, we touched on this to start the video, actually. As a Bears fan, I pray Williams isn't a bust. I can't keep going through the cycle of a new quarterback, LOL. We're looking like the 2010s Cleveland Browns right now with them. I know, I said this earlier to start the video. I think them trading Justin Fields is so freaking stupid. Anybody who saw the short last night of me saying it while I was drunk, go back and check it out, because Ben found it pretty entertaining. But I did find it entertaining. I would be
just as mad, though. I would. Like, it's
all right. 2164. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Oh,
yeah,
I actually got to get up at 5 myself.
Yeah, he's probably on the Eastern time zone, so it's, what is it, 8:40? Yeah, 8:45 his time. So he's coming to the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, well, I got to be up at 5 myself for work, but
should have kept Justin coming from a Packers fan. Yep, I agree. I agree 100%. I think you build around him. Didn't give him enough support, but that's just me. Yeah,
unless he's saying
the Bears are such an anomaly, and Chicago sports are such an anomaly. Like, I mean, I feel for Chicago sports fans. I really do. Like, it seems like every team just, well, I'm not gonna torture Sean too much, but
I gotta say this though, Ben. Unless Cole is saying we should have kept Justin since he's a Packers fan and he thinks Justin sucks.
Well, he is an Ohio State fan, so let's keep that in mind.
So things change once you get to the NFL.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to see your Ohio State guys do well. I mean, it's just like us. Like, when Notre Dame guys do well, it makes our program look good. Like, you want them to do well.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I think it's more that he's, and maybe he'll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I was right. Sean, you be quiet.
It can go either way. It could go either way.
Good deal. Okay, whatever.
And besides,
whatever.
I like to beat people before the punch, before they say what I think. The key word, think, what they're going to say.
This is Minority Report, Sean, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm in the I need Tua to do well for my Dolphins. I feel it. I feel y'all with your problems. And here's I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not even going to do it. The Dolphins fan base drives me nuts. You talk about a bad Not even going down that route.
Well, I wanted to finish answering Eric's question here real quick. But here's the thing. You start adding all these awesome pieces in free agency. You trade for Keenan Allen. You add DeAndre Swift and all these other key pieces on offense and defense. You can't just talk about only the offense. But the thing is, obviously, with number 1 overall pick, you have a chance to trade that and build even more around Justin Fields, and then you go and trade him. I mean, as a Bears fan, as I said earlier, but not just the Bears, but any franchise, you can't keep drafting a quarterback every 3 or 4 years and then start over again. There's no consistency. You got to keep that consistency, and Justin had something going. I'm not saying that he has no responsibility on himself. I mean, yes, because he's got to get better with his accuracy and his throws and whatnot, and getting rid of the ball quicker, all that. But he's been playing under a shitty offensive coordinator for the past 2 seasons. You have one that has proven that he's competent. See what Shane Waldron can do with him. But now you trade him away, and you're setting the stage for bringing in a rookie quarterback, which at this point it's likely going to be Caleb Williams.
Square one again.
Yeah, or it's possible Poles still trades at number 1 pick, and they go with somebody like maybe Jaden Daniels or whoever, Jaden Daniels, McCarthy, whoever. But no, just to be fair, as much as I hate this move by the Bears right now and how stupid I think it is, if Caleb Williams were to come in here to Chicago and tear it up and mature, then yes, I'm going to support him. I'm going to cheer for him. I'm giving him a chance.
Well, and
if I'm wrong, I will say that I'm wrong.
Yeah, and you don't want to see a guy that comes in do bad. Like, that's something that I've never understood, because I have that in the NFL, in the Dolphins fan base. There are so many people who are like, oh, well, Tua is just going to, be awful, and he's going to – and it's like, but why? Why do you want that? Because then you're right, and then we're back to square one again. Like, I just don't get that. Oh, but anyway, she's a Falcons fan, so maybe we got Cousins, so maybe. I mean, Cousins is a guy that – he's a guy that if he has the supporting cast around him, he's pretty dang good. And the NFC South is there for the taking. Like, the Saints are really the only team in that division that are going to do any. Well, Buccaneers did re-sign Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield, so the Buccaneers might be something. But let's hit Fred Benson's.
All right.
Good evening, Sean and Ben. How's your St. Patrick's Day going? ND will go all the way and win the. I would say probably win the title instead of win the title because of Denbrock, the old NDOC. I hope you're right. 110%. Like, nothing would give me more joy than finally seeing Notre Dame do it. Like, gosh, I hope it happens. I mean, and everything is shifting that direction, but we will see. We will see.
Eric,
sorry. Go ahead. You hit it. I'll leave it alone. You hit it. Okay.
Eric says, I like Keenan, but he's 31. I 100% agree they should have kept Fields and built around him. Would have rather traded back a few picks and get a haul for the number 1 and draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
Now, let me throw a fastball at everybody, okay? What if Marvin Harrison Jr. goes number 1 to the Bears?
Then I think what that means.
And then you draft a quarterback with the number 9th pick. Because you know that there will be guys that are still there. Like, I mean, every single one of the big name quarterbacks, Bo Nix, whoever, are still going to be there. So what if the reason that Keenan is being brought in is a twofer? Okay, it's he's good and he's always been good because he's been super dominant forever, even with a crappy Chargers team. And you bring in Marvin Harrison Jr., who is that next potential big name superstar, like Dad. And then you go and draft like Bo Nix.
Well, it's just the thing is,
I mean,
I don't know.
Could you imagine that offense with Marvin Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift,
DJ Moore,
and then DJ Moore, and then go and get like Bo Nix or Penix or somebody, and.
Well, first off, I don't know if Bo Nix, I don't think is a first round pick.
But I mean,
See, but
That's
here's
according to these other people. I mean, who knows? We see guys that go in the first round that you didn't think was going to make it, and then we see guys that should have gone in the first round that don't.
well, that's true. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, and I'm not talking necessarily about the players. The problem is with now that you've traded Fields, you didn't get a pick for it in this year's draft. The Bears only have 4 total picks right now in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't have anything in the second.
Oops.
And they don't have anything past the 4th. They have 2 number 1s, a 3rd, and a 4th. So you need to get some capital. So one of these 2 first rounds these 2 first round picks that you have to trade one of them. Because can you really wait through the second round or past the second round to not pick somebody? Or like, are you really going to wait till the 3rd round to pick somebody else?
Yeah.
After the first round, I don't know. This is why I don't do the job, but I just obviously you need to have more than 4 draft picks. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and with that number 1, you could trade back and get a potential haul for that number 1 pick. I mean, you could have a team like New England who wants a specific guy that needs a quarterback because New England now needs a quarterback. I hate saying that as a Dolphins fan, and I truly do not want to see them do well again.
Well, it's just a fact. It's a team that needs.
It's a fact.
Need for that team.
And they go and give you a first round, a second round, a third round, and whatever else, then you got a whole bunch of draft picks and you move back. And then you go and continue your way of business. So
obviously I don't think Ryan Poles is going to get 10 or 11 picks, whatever it was they had last year after all the trades that he made. But still, you got to have more than 4.
Yeah, you do. And like, it'll be interesting to see what happens come draft day because.
And the thing is,
everybody's working on stuff right now. Like, we're talking about this on this show, and that all these GMs, all these scouts, all these, people legitimately have cogs turning, things going on behind the scenes. They're probably talking amongst themselves, making phone calls, all that. And as soon as draft day hits, then all of a sudden it's the Bears make a move and trade this pick. The Texans make a move, they trade this pick, bam, 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 bam. And then things start really actually coming to fruition and panning out. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting.
I just want to say for the record that despite how I'm feeling right now, if I will give Caleb Williams a chance, if he is indeed the guy that the Bears go with their first pick, I will give him a chance.
Yeah. And
I will hope that he tears it up. And if he does that, I'll admit that I was wrong. I've never had a problem doing that. But at this point in time, I don't like the move, but we'll see.
Yep.
But with a real quick with Cole Custer's comment, there's one other topic I wanted to bring up. But JJ McCarthy. Go with JJ McCarthy. Scouts are high on him for some reason. Ben, could you see McCarthy succeeding?
I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier. There's no metric. There's none. Like, I mean, we've seen guys that come from no-name state that become all pros. We've seen guys that come from number 1 Oklahoma, number 1 Alabama, whoever, and bust. There's no metric. Could JJ McCarthy succeed and Caleb Williams be a bust? Sure. Could Caleb Williams be phenomenal and JJ McCarthy be a bust? Sure.
Yeah. It's like that scene. It's like that scene in the movie Moneyball when Brad Pitt's talking to his head scout and he's like, "You don't have a crystal ball. You can't predict a kid's future any more than I can." I've sat at those kitchen tables with you and I've listened to you tell these parents, when it comes to your son, I know, and when I know, and you don't. That's what it all comes down to. So you do have a point. And what Eric says here, they could trade the number 9 to a team that's drafted in the 20s and get their second rounder as well. But who knows? Yeah, that stuff has happened.
Yeah. I mean,
it's possible.
I just hope Williams doesn't cry after every loss.
Well, here's the thing. Let me make it clear with him crying. When he jumped up in the stands and cried with his parents, listen, I want to make it clear I have no problem with anybody showing emotions when you're at a low point, whether it's after a loss in the game or anything else in life. No problem with the guy showing emotions. But it's like, don't make a spectacle out of it. Save it for after the game in, by the locker room or wherever. And because that should be a private thing. But that's the thing. He's making a spectacle out of it. He's doing this, that, and whether the rumors are true that he wants, which I forgot to add earlier, if it's true that he wants a minority stake in whatever team drafts him, then that's bullcrap. Because it's like, kid, you haven't done shit yet to be worthy of that. And someone said earlier in the stream, and I forgot to address this, but there are rumors saying that Williams said that he doesn't want to play for Chicago. I don't know about that. I mean, I've heard. I don't even know if that's entirely true.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, really, like the team that's going to take their chance, that's going to give you your money, that's going to, try to do you right. You're going to be like, no, I'm not going to you. Like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's rumor. I don't think that's legitimately true. And I think he walked it back a little bit too. I think he was like, no, I never said that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, is that he clarified. He's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's stupid. You're going to have an NFL team. Your dream is to play in the NFL. Yeah, there are some bad situations. I get, like Detroit, years ago, for years, was a rough landing spot, and Cleveland and all that. But I mean, come on. You don't have to play your whole career there. You get your foot in the door, you do what you got to do, and then go to a different team. Like, he grew up a Packers fan. Maybe he says, yeah, I mean, people put so much stock in some of these things, and people just, I don't know. It's so stupid. I don't mind if men show emotions. I'm not one of those women. I hope the kid has a good career. Yeah, I mean, that's, like, at the end of the day, we want to see that too. Like, I want to see Caleb Williams succeed. Like, I hope that, he succeeds, and I hope that, like, Bo Nix succeeds and JJ McCarthy succeeds, and I hope these guys succeed. Like, your dream is to do this. Like, you've done all this hard work. Like, it's admirable the amount of sacrifice that these kids, not men, kids, have done to get to where they're at. I mean, not everybody can do it. I'm sorry. I work in education, for crying out loud, and I can tell you, not everybody can do it. Like, and it's the fact that you make it to the NFL is mind-boggling. Like,
right,
statistics are so against you, like, of doing anything. Like, I had family playing in the NFL. It's not easy. Like, it's not like the things that they have to do, the sacrifices they have to make. Yeah, it's a short season compared to other sports, but it's still a grind, man. Like, it's still rough. It's still hard work.
Well, let's see. When you include the guys on the active roster and the practice squad, that's like what? I think this is the ballpark number. Only 1,600 guys in the world are able to do that.
Yeah.
Across all 32 teams against their active rosters, the practice squad. That's damn near impossible. Yeah. Now, I will say one thing, and then I have one last thing to add, Ben, if you don't mind. But Judy. Exactly. It's men showing. It's okay for men to show emotions. My thing is, it's just when Williams was doing it, that was a spectacle that he was putting on. It's like, that should be what he did it should have been a private moment. That's all I was saying. Nothing wrong with men crying or hurting or whatever.
Yeah, because Tebow cried multiple times on the sideline, but he wasn't crying to his parents.
Yeah.
And if he was crying to his parents behind closed doors. That's a big difference.
Yes. Caleb Williams, I feel, is trying to put on a show.
Yeah.
But one last thing, Ben. Speaking of which, now that's only 1,600 players that are in the NFL. How about with what we have coming up in less than 2 weeks?
I knew you were going to do it. I knew it. I love it. I
got it. And this is a question for everybody that's watching. I mean, it says that we have 6 people watching. There could be more, but I want to ask everybody a question. Who is going to be watching the UFL when it starts up in a couple weeks? And while we're waiting for answers, cause the law, Ben. The Battlehawks get started. And to let everybody know, Ben and I will be covering we tried to do, when it was just the USFL and the XFL, we tried to cover the league, both leagues as a whole. It just got to be too much. So we're just going to be covering the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yep.
So anybody who's watching the UFL, and if you're a St. Louis Battlehawk fan, we're going to be covering it right here on this channel. So be on the lookout for that. And we got something that we're working on, but it's all up to me trying to find the right clips.
Yep, we do. We have some exciting stuff on the horizon.
So it sounds like, and also Ben, what'd you think about? What's your thought about the UFL championship going to be officially played in St. Louis?
I mean, makes sense. We're the loudest stadium. We sell out our seats. So you're going to go where you need to go. And St. Louis is a nice little destination that time of year. So let's go.
And if the Battlehawks make the championship, it's going to be rocking. All right, we'll check out a couple of these answers. Cole says, I'll probably watch a few games. Don't know too much about the league, though. Hey, look into it, dude. There's some.
It's not the NFL. Here's the thing. Don't go into it expecting the NFL, okay? Like, these are guys that are thrown together. A lot of these teams have massive turnover with these guys, because these guys are trying to make it to the NFL. So the moment they get an opportunity, bam, they're gone. So don't come into it expecting the NFL. Come into it just expecting football.
Just love the game.
Football fact, and watch it for the fact that these guys are fighting. Every single one of them are fighting to have an opportunity to get that call from some NFL GM that they want them.
Well, and also I got to make mention of this too. There's a local kid from where I grew up in Geneseo, Illinois. Drew Himmelman, offensive lineman. He played tight end when he was playing for Geneseo. He went to Illinois State, Ben, which I know you're very familiar with that school.
Mm-hmm.
And
right down the road from me.
Yes, and he's seen some time in the NFL, mostly on practice squads, but he is going to be playing for the Michigan Panthers.
Yep,
he's currently on the roster.
And we will be following him pretty closely.
Yeah, I'll be watching the Panthers pretty closely, but of course the Battlehawks are my team. They're going to come number one.
And the first game of the season for the Battlehawks is Michigan Panthers, so that'll be a fun game to watch.
Dude, really, Cole? You're from the area. See, I grew up in Geneseo, but I live in Moline.
I mean, he is a Packers fan, so it makes sense.
There's Packer fans living in California.
Well, like, who's the influence is what I'm saying. Sean, come on now.
I know Rockridge in particular is in Edgington. I was actually there one time for one of my brother's baseball games. So yeah, I've seen that school. I've seen the stadium, and I've been through Milan a number of times too. Don't go there often though. But no, yeah, I'm from the QC area. I still live here in the area. So if you're a sniper, please don't try to come and kill me or anything. But at the same time, why would anyone want me out? What threat am I? I don't know Drew personally. I've only seen him play. I just, I still keep tabs on the Maple Leafs. I still watch the games on I guess it's technically the Western Big Six network now. But the coach at Geneseo who just retired, I played under him. Coach Johnson, good friend of mine still to this day. Haven't talked to much, but no, yeah. Any alumni from us who succeeds, I mean, whether you know them or not, you hope they succeed at the next level. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool, Cole. Pretty cool, Cole. That say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, no kidding.
That you live in the area and you know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. So it's pretty good. It's a small world. Because when you came in here, I thought you were going to be all hating on us and calling us names, but you're actually a pretty cool guy now.
Yeah, join the stream anytime you want. Like, we appreciate it. I love hearing from other fans. Here's the thing. Like I grew up right outside of Columbus. Like, I don't have disdain for Ohio State like other people do. I don't. Like, I really don't. Like, they've beaten us and they've given us trouble and all that. But Michigan's the ultimate. Michigan and USC are the ultimate for me. And Sean has pretty a similar mindset to that.
Well, it's the most hated school that I have is Michigan State. I hate Michigan less than them. I hate USC less than them. But Michigan State, it's personal. I'm not going to go into that whole debacle. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty awesome, Cole. That we actually have something somewhat in common. But yeah, I Drew, even though I've never talked to him, and we've actually tried to get him on the show.
Yeah, we have.
And but yeah, no, I whether you know your fellow Green Machine or not, you want him to succeed. And so we actually had another kid. We had another kid not too long ago see some time on practice squads, and well, hell, Barry Pearson. This is a true story, Ben. I don't even know if you know this, but the Immaculate Reception, Franco Harris.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Barry Pearson, a Geneseo alum, he played for the Steelers at that time. That play originally was for him. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not. That's interesting.
If I ever shared that with you.
Yeah, it's Michigan and Vikings for me. I actually don't hate the Bears because I'm younger, so it's much of a rivalry. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I am with the Cubs as a Cardinals fan. Like, I mean, I feel for them more than anything. But although we're kind of falling into that category.
Hey, don't feel. We got our World Series in 2016. I got to live.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to go down. We're not going to. Anyway.
You know what? Just piss off on that, Ben.
Living in PA at Penn State. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Judy, I'm originally from the Schaumburg area. I know where it's at, but I've never been through there. Then my parents moved us to Georgia.
That was a wise decision. Get out of Illinois. Get out.
Michigan for me and Georgia.
Yeah, you go with the teams that are local because those fans run their mouths. I get it. Believe me, I get it. I have so many Illini fans that run their mouths, and it's like, yo, what have you done?
Yeah, exactly. Even in basketball, what have they done recently?
Oh, anyway.
But yeah, it's getting to be about that time, Ben. And I only know
sounds good to me.
I only know that because you were kind of hinting that look in your eye that I'm kidding. I'm making a joke, people.
No.
But
listen, we've tortured these people for far too long, is what it is.
What if we tortured them? Then why do they come here?
I don't know. Glutton for punishment, maybe. Who knows?
Are any of you guys tortured that you came here to watch us? I mean, we're a small channel, small show. I know that, but I don't think we're that torturous. Anyway, look. So one last thing that we want to let you guys know. This was an exception, but we normally, since Ben and I now work on the same schedule, we're gonna our weekly live stream is gonna be on Thursday nights.
Yes.
What time do you want to do?
6:30 sounds perfect.
Okay, so unless things change, look for us 6:30 live show every Thursday night, and that's 6:30 Central Time. But yeah, had a nice little turnout for tonight's stream. I'm pretty impressed with it, and I hope we gave you guys a good show. And yeah, so other things coming up. We have punishment
punishments. Yes,
yes. We got the Battle Hawks starting, the UFL starting up in the day before Easter on March 30th. We have so we'll be doing a little show for the Battle Hawks, which we're putting together a trailer for that, or a promo for that right now. And also Ben's going to be, for those of you who don't know about this, he has to pay up on a bet yet. And he's going to be doing a Happy Meal challenge, but rather it's a punishment. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I put out one promo to it already, but he's going to have to eat 5 Happy Meals in 2 minutes.
Yep.
And we might do that live, but we haven't decided on that yet.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Regardless, even if we do it live and it doesn't get a good turnout, we can still post it.
Yeah, definitely.
and also, I was told from I asked the question on another person's show, Ben, about if he thought you could do that.
Yeah.
He said no. It's kid size, but that's a lot of food. No way he does that in 2 minutes.
It's more the time. Like I could probably do all the food. That's probably not the issue. It's more the time is going to be the biggest factor in that situation. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the thing is, the idea is for it to be torture. Even if you were to somehow complete it, you're still going to be sick. And even if you do,
I would need probably some divine intervention to
yes.
complete that in the time that has been allotted to me.
And
So,
if you don't complete it in 2 minutes, you still have to slap yourself in the face.
yeah.
So I can't think of a better punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to have you do something like go around and say stupid shit to people, but nah, we agreed. Nothing that can get us arrested.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So that's what we have coming up, guys. And be on the lookout for it. Subscribe to us. Hit the bell icon. We're small, but we have some good stuff coming.
We do.
So yeah, Ben, hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day.
I did.
Hope all you guys had a great St. Patrick's Day as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And on that note, everyone, I'm Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And as we always end every show, good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish.